Welcome curious minds to a journey through scientific marvels and the enigmatic story of Henrietta Lacks. In this episode, we delve into the extraordinary realm of Henrietta Lacks' immortal cells. Join me as we unravel the mysteries behind HeLa, the first immortal human cell line, and explore the profound impact it has had on the fields of medicine, genetics, and beyond. Get ready to witness the fascinating tale of a woman whose cells spark scientific revolutions. Let's embark on this captivating exploration together. Let's explore the microscopic world for a moment. Picture something so tiny it can float on a speck of dust, yet possesses the key to unraveling the mysteries of cancer, virology, and genetics. In the vast realm of scientific research, we find this invaluable entity, trillions upon trillions of human lab-grown cells known as HeLa. Let's rewind a bit. Scientists cultivate human cells in laboratories to comprehend their functionality, decipher the development of diseases, and test novel treatments without jeopardizing patients. The challenge lies in having substantial populations of identical cells capable of faithfully replicating for years. Until 1951, all attempts to grow human cells ended in failure within a few days. Then along came a sample that changed everything, a peculiar tumor. Dark purple, shiny, and jelly-like. George Gay, a scientist at Johns Hopkins, received this unique specimen. Remarkably, some of its cells exhibited an unprecedented trait. They kept dividing endlessly. The result, an infinite source of identical cells. The first immortal human cell line, HeLa, named after Henrietta Lacks, the unsuspecting donor of this extraordinary tumor. Henrietta Lacks, born on Tobacco Farm in Virginia, lived in Baltimore with her family. She succumbed to aggressive cervical cancer. Unaware that her tumor cells would become the cornerstone of groundbreaking scientific discoveries, an African-American mother of 5 gives birth to her youngest child. Raised in a family plagued by poverty, Henrietta faces challenges from an early age, losing her mother at 4 and subsequently enduring institutionalization of her eldest daughter Elsie due to developmental disabilities. Henrietta's journey continues with her marriage to her cousin David, the birth of several children, and a move to Maryland. Life with numerous children, compounded by Elsie's challenges, forces Henrietta to make the difficult decision of institutionalizing her daughter. Soon after, Henrietta confronts her own health issues, sensing that something is amiss. Seeking medical help at Johns Hopkins Hospital, she discovers a knot in her womb, setting off a series of events that would lead to the discovery of immortal cells. Henrietta's experience with the medical system reflect the racial segregations of the 1950s, with her examination taking place in the blacks-only wing of the hospital. Her tumor, described as an eroded mass, propels her into radiation treatment, which inadvertently renders her infertile. With her feet positioned in stirrups and a surgeon, Dr. Lawrence Wharton Jr., ready to address her tumor, Henrietta Lacks had no awareness, and no one sought her permission for Dr. Wesley Tyndall to extract samples from her cervix. 2 samples were to be procured, one of healthy cervical tissue and the other one of the cancerous tissue. These samples were destined for George Otto Gay, a physician and cancer researcher at Johns Hopkins. At that time, there was a constant demand for a reliable supply of cell samples due to their frequent demise. Growing cells posed numerous challenges, including the unknown nutritional requirements and the quest for the perfect culture medium. The liquid sustaining the cells, the recipe for this culture medium evolved continually as researchers sought the optimal balance ingredients, such as chicken plasma, pured catheters, special salts, and blood from a human umbilical cord were not readily available. However, the primary challenge was the contamination with bacteria and other microorganisms infiltrating cultures, often leading to sample distraction. Before any experimentation with Henrietta's sample could occur, these challenges needed resolution. When her sample finally underwent testing, a small 1mm square was sliced off and placed in a test tube with a culture medium, sealed with a rubber stopper. Unconventionally, Henrietta Lacks' culture were labeled simply as HeLa rather than with her full name. In contrast to other samples, Henrietta's cancer cells exhibited astonishingly rapid growth, doubling almost overnight. They displayed an extraordinary ability to divide numerous times without succumbing to death, earning them the moniker Immortal. George Gay believed that within Henrietta's cancer cells lay the key to conquering cancer. Studying her cells could potentially unveil ways to damage or eradicate cancer entirely. To facilitate cancer research, Gay distributed HeLa cells to scientists worldwide, enabling experiments impossible to conduct with live human subjects. Researchers subjected HeLa cells to toxins, radiations, infections, and drug injections, studying immunosuppression and cancer growth in immune-compromised rats. If cells perished during these experiments, scientists could effortlessly return to Henrietta's immortal cells and restart the process. Despite the groundbreaking nature of this research and the global dissemination of HeLa cells, the revolutionary HeLa line and its potential to combat cancer remained unpublicized. The general public remained unaware of Henrietta Lacks and her extraordinary cancer cells. Meanwhile, Henrietta herself faced additional concerns beyond the acknowledgement of her cells. In June of 1951, she expressed to doctors her belief that the cancer was spreading, describing a sensation of movement. However, her doctors reassured her, noting in her chart that she felt relatively well, with no evidence of a recurrence. They advised her to return in a month. During this period, a practice known as benevolent deception was prevalent. In this process, doctors intentionally misled patients to avert potential negative effects stemming from the revelation of their true diagnosis. Patients seldom questioned it, and this practice was particularly true for black patients in 1951, as questioning the judgment of a white doctor or person was uncommon. Merely 2 weeks later, Henrietta returned to Johns Hopkins, detailing abdominal pain and difficulty urinating. X-rays revealed a sizable stony mass filling her abdomen. Doctors now delivered a grim prognosis, deeming the tumors inoperable. They escalated irradiation dosage daily to alleviate pain and reduce tumor size. However, her pain intensified and the tumors continued to grow. Doctors attempted to alleviate her suffering with analgesic drugs, yet new tumors emerged almost daily. By September 1951, Henrietta's body was nearly consumed by tumors. In the last effort to manage her pain, doctors administered a heavy dorsal morphine and discontinued all medications and treatment outside of painkillers. On October 4, 1951 at 12:15 a.m., Henrietta Lacks passed away. Researchers acted swiftly, eager to obtain as many samples as possible. However, acquiring new samples posthumously required the family's permission, as the law explicitly deemed performing an autopsy or extracting tissue from the deceased without consent illegal. Yet no such provision mandated similar consent for living patients. When Henrietta's husband visited Johns Hopkins to view her body, doctors broached the topic of an autopsy, framing it as a potential beneficial for his children in the future. And aware of their true intentions, he granted consent and signed the autopsy permission form. The autopsy revealed that cancer had metastasized throughout her entire body. Subsequently, Henrietta was laid to rest in an unmarked grave at her family's cemetery in Laxtown, Halifax County, Virginia. In 1951, polio posed a several epidemic threat, and the public's demand for vaccine grew desperate. In 1952, John Sack from the University of Pittsburgh claimed to have developed the world's first polio vaccine. However, its administration to children awaited extensive testing on a large scale. Researchers needed millions of neutralization tests involving a blend of blood serum from vaccinated children with live poliovirus and cells in a culture. Successful vaccination would result in the serum blocking the virus. The challenges arose as the cells used in the culture were derived from live monkeys, and creating the test would lead to the monkey's demise. Given the high cost of monkeys, researchers sought more economical ways to obtain cultured cells. This is where HeLa cells played a crucial role due to their unprecedented growth capabilities. When scientists discovered that HeLa cells were susceptible to the poliovirus and could be cultivated in vast quantities at minimal cost, they established the first HeLa distribution center at Tuskegee University. This center empowered 35 Tuskegee scientists to produce over 6 trillion cells weekly. Initially intended for polio testing labs, the Tuskegee Center soon extended its offering to any interested scientist. Despite their cancerous nature, HeLa cells exhibited fundamental characteristics of normal cells. They produced proteins, communicated with each other, underwent division, generated energy, and were susceptible to infections. These traits made HeLa cells an invaluable tool for synthesizing and studying bacteria, hormones, proteins, and notably viruses. Henrietta's cells played a pivotal role in advancing the field of virology, where researchers exposed HeLa cells to viruses to understand their entry into cells, replication, and spread. As the Cold War intensified, scientists subjected Henrietta's cells to various experiments. Exposure to massive radiation doses aimed to study the cellular damage caused by nuclear bombs, potentially identifying ways to reverse such damage. Other experiments, including subjecting HeLa cells to extreme centrifuge condition, provided insights into cellular responses under intense pressure, simulating scenarios like deep-sea diving or space flight. Cosmetic and pharmaceutical companies also turned to HeLa cells as an alternative to animal testing for product and drug assessments, examining potential cellular damage. Additionally, the US government utilized HeLa cells to investigate hemorrhagic fever, which posed a threat to American troops in 1954. Thus, HeLa cells became widely employed across diverse scientific endeavors. The subsequent discovery of HeLa cells, regenerating at an unprecedented rate, opens new avenues in medical research. However, Henrietta Lacks and her family remained unaware of the significance of her cells for several decades. This raises ethical questions about informed consent, patient rights, and the exploitation of vulnerable populations in scientific pursuits. Henrietta Lacks' legacy lives on through HeLa cells, contributing to scientific breakthroughs but also sparking discussion about the ethical considerations surrounding medical research. The question remains, what set HeLa cells apart, enabling their survival while other lines perish? The answer quite succinctly eludes us. Ordinary human cells adhere to built-in control mechanisms, undergoing approximately 50 divisions before self-destructing in a process known as apoptosis. Cancer cells defy these signals, proliferating indefinitely. Yet, HeLa cells define the norm, defying explanation. Upon realizing the significance of possessing an immortal human cell line, Dr. Gay disseminated HeLa samples globally. The world inaugural cell production facility soon churned out 6 trillion HeLa cells per week. Ethical concerns aroused as scientists capitalized on Henrietta's cells, forging careers and fortunes without her or her family's consent, a revelation that surfaced decades later. Thank you for delving into the remarkable story of Henrietta Lacks and her immortal cells with us. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more captivating content. If you have any questions, insights, or would like to share your thoughts on Henrietta Lacks and her legacy, feel free to leave a comment below. We value your engagement. For more intriguing stories and deep dives into fascinating topics, check out our other videos on the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest releases. Remember to share this video with those who might find it interesting, and let's keep the conversation going. Follow us on our social media platforms, link in the description for additional content and community updates. Thank you for being part of our journey. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and continue learning. See you in the next video.